Hi, everyone. Darlene Arneson here, Sons of Norway Mandt Lodge president. So we are finally at the point where we are reopening our lodge for several different types of activities. So it is important that as we do that, we want to keep everyone safe and to make sure that we're following all the rules and guidelines and other things that we are needing to follow. So as we start making lefse and donuts, and we have our fish boil coming up and Sitnamai activities next month in May, and also as we start having requests to use our meeting space and so forth, we wanted to go through the proper procedures for doing this. Part of what Dane County Public Health has us do is that we have to have procedures in place. We need to have training. We need to have resources. We need to have a plan. And so this is part of that process. So I'm going to be sharing a lot of resources. I know for our members, I've sent numerous attachments and links to websites and encouraging you to take a look at those. Obviously, I am not a healthcare person or any kind of expert in anything, so it's a learn as we go. We have a certified ServSafe person in our lodge, Jerry Erdahl, who works with our food inspector also in making sure that we're doing things. So anyway, so it's kind of a team effort, but the more people who are aware of the resources and can help us to learn as well, I think the better job that we're going to be doing. So I'm going to be sharing my screen, and we are going to take a look at a number of different items that we have. So we are going to start out with our procedures, and I'm going to email this document out as well, but I wanted you to see it and to know that we have this information coming. So we have the Mandt Lodge procedures. So they are to help us stay safe at the lodge and so on. The biggest thing, if you're not feeling well, or somebody at your house or in your bubble or that you've been exposed to isn't feeling well or has been exposed to COVID, please don't come to the lodge. We want you to be safe. We want our members to be safe, our guests, our visitors. So if there's a question, please stay home. We are under the Dane County mask mandate, so you have to wear a mask when you're at the lodge. They also should be worn when using the restrooms. That's part of the COVID procedures from the Dane County Health. We do have disposable masks. If you don't have one, or if you forget yours, you don't have to run home and get one. We have disposable masks on both floors of the lodge. We need to encourage social distancing of 6 feet when you're coming, if you're standing in line or sitting at tables and so forth. Households or your bubble groups can cluster together, sit at the same tables or stand together, but we really are trying to encourage others to stay with that distance. We have some plexiglass, and we have our sneeze guards and so forth that we're going to be putting in place as we work on some of our activities, but we really need to have your help in keeping a distance. We've tried to set up tables and chairs so that it is space for distancing. We appreciate if you leave them where they are, or if you have to move them for whatever event you're doing, that you put them back. We also have to keep attendance sheets for each activity or event that we have, in case somebody a couple days later isn't feeling good and tests positive or has some other COVID related issue. So please sign in. And we have a binder that we started. It's got several different tabs in it. One is for the employee health reporting. One is the attendance sheets. There's some blanks of both forms. So if you are hosting a meeting or activity, please make sure you're having everyone fill out that attendance sheet. If you don't know the people who are coming, have them write their email address or a phone number, some type of contact, so that in case we do need to get in touch with them, we can. We do have hand sanitizers and the wipes and so forth on both levels, but whenever you're using the lodge, if you're the one in charge of it or you're helping at it, when you're done, please sanitize all the tables that you've used, the stair railings if you've used the steps, bathrooms, doorknobs, lift doors, microphones, other touch points. So there's supplies on both levels. Let us know if we're getting low on those, but we do ask that any of the surfaces that you have people touching, that those are wiped when you leave. So if you're there to work with food, we have new forms to fill out. It's called the COVID Employee Health Reporting Sheet, and I will show you that in a second. We also have the regular Employee Health Reporting Sheet, and I'll explain those a little bit more. Both of them need to be signed. So the regular ones are still in there, kind of, it's a pinkish color binder. The COVID ones are in our new COVID binder. As always, hand washing is critical before handling any food or bathroom use and so on. Please wash your hands thoroughly and use the hand washing sinks. So downstairs, we have a sink in the back hallway that is specifically for hand washing. Please don't wash your hands in the kitchen. We don't keep soap there for that reason. Those are food prep. One is a food prep sink, and the other one is the 3-part one is for washing dishes, not your hands. So please use the back hallway for washing your hands. If you're washing your hands in the bathroom, obviously you have to grab the door handle to get out. If you're the only one there, or if it's, okay, you can prop the doors open, then you don't need to touch the door handles, but we do have hand sanitizers right outside the bathroom for you to use. If you're using the lift or our elevator, please ride with people of your own party or household. If you need assistance running the lift, let us know. Cough and sneeze etiquette. So in case your parents missed this when you were a kid, when you sneeze or cough, cover your mouth and nose with a tissue. With COVID, they are asking that people use disposable tissues and then throw those out after you use them. Don't stick it back in your pocket, or if you're just wiping your nose, to do that. If you don't have a tissue, we have Kleenex down there, or you can cough or sneeze into your elbow, but not your hand. And then afterwards, wash your hands again. Also, if you're doing food prep and you touch your face, you adjust your mask, or you touch other parts of your body, you're adjusting your sleeves or whatever, please rewash your hands. So we know it's a lot of hand washing and sanitation, but that is really, really important. We are doing our best to follow the guidelines. We're not making the rules. We're just trying to follow them and interpret them and to figure out what we're doing to help keep everybody safe. So the document that I'm going to send out has all the details for these, but basically in order for us to move forward, we have to have a hygiene policy in place, a cleaning policy, and then protective measure policies, and then document that people have seen and read these and so forth. So there's a couple other documents that we will have. One is our training policy. So watching this videotape, when you get down there, if whoever's in charge has some other specific things, we're going to be kind of marking that people have been a part of that, or they've watched it, or they've read the documents and so forth. So that's something that's new. The attendance sheets for the activities, this is what it looks like. If you can put the date and activity, and then the names. If you're not a member of the lodge, again, a phone or email in case we need to get in touch with you will be very, very helpful. We have some other documents. This is the Employee Health Reporting Agreement. This is one anybody who works with food that is at our lodge has to fill out. Basically, if you have diarrhea, vomiting, sore throat, and so on, or if you've been diagnosed with any of these symptoms, you need to sign and print this. Once you've done it, unless they change the forms, you don't need to sign it again, but it's just saying that anytime you're not feeling good, or you've been diagnosed with any of this stuff, that you will not come down and work with food. And we have been known to send people home if they come down and they're sneezing and coughing and they're just getting over a cold or something. We, again, appreciate your help. We appreciate your attendance, but we don't want to be sick or spread that to other people or contaminate food, and we will send you home. So anyway, so once you sign it, the person in charge is Jerry Eridal. He, again, is our safe serve person, and he'll sign those at some time. But we do have new ones for COVID now. So you're supposed to self-monitor daily for these COVID symptoms: cough, shortness of breath, fever over 100, chills, muscle pain, sore throat, or new loss or taste a smell. Or if you've been diagnosed with a positive test, or you also have to report exposures. So if you have any of those things going on, again, please do not come down to the lodge. And so anyway, I'm sending this out as well. It's part of the packet, but you will need to print and sign and date this. Jerry will need to sign it. There's also more information too, because there's a lot of follow-up with this. So if you were at the lodge and what happens and so forth. So one of the things that we're doing is any food, for example, when we're making lefse, we have to date the tubs. We don't have to date the individual packages, but we do date the tubs. That way, if we made lefse on April 10th and 2 days later somebody who was there is sick or was exposed, we probably need to dispose of those that lefse. So that's why we really don't want you to come if you're not feeling good and so forth, because that won't help with the cause. And so anyway, so that's what that is. Let me go back to the other. Bake sales is another thing. So there are guidelines for bake sales. Some of these guidelines were out before and we weren't aware of some of them, but we are a certified restaurant. We have a restaurant license. So that means if we have bake sales, we have to post that. If we have any items that were made at home, we have to have a home baked sign indicating that those were made at home. Everything has to be individually wrapped in plastic foil or wax paper, or like our clamshell ones and so forth. Items that you can bake at home and bring, different kinds of breads, quick breads and yeast, cakes, except cheesecake or cream filled, cookies, bars, muffins, candies, dried fruits, herbs and spices, cupcakes. Non-potentially hazardous fruit pies are not requiring refrigeration. What they don't want you to bring or make at home and bring is cheesecake, pastries, cream meringue, custard or pumpkin pies, cream-filled cakes, cupcakes, muffins, or donuts, frostings and fillings made with cream cheese, or home canned goods. So that means please don't bring those. We are going to make Rummagrub bars for Sitnamai. We have to make them in our certified kitchen. And we have to have them refrigerated right after we make them until we're ready to sell them, and to have them on our ice tray things to keep them cold until people purchase them if we have them out on the tables. So a little bit of change in that. So again, with bake sales, what we really, really encourage you to do is keep in mind when you're done at the lodge and we're in our certified kitchen, we have all of our counters and workspaces are clean and sanitized. We wash our hands, we have hairnets on, we have gloves on if we're touching something that isn't going to be baked, or we're taking it out of a pan, or we're packaging it. We expect those same compliance in your home kitchen. So if you're baking things to bring down to the lodge, we really encourage you to make sure that you're following the rules. Your workspace is nice and clean. You have a hairnet on, you've got gloves on, you've washed your hands, and you're following those rules and so forth. So for bake sales too, when you bring items in, you can bring them in your pans, and then we'll put them into to-go containers. Some people have to-go containers at home. We don't want you reusing to-go containers, so don't keep your carry-out food containers and then bring cookies in them to sell at the bake sale. We have to have clean, and we want clean new containers. So make sure you label both the top and bottom of pans or containers or Tupperware and so forth before you bring them. A few other places for you to take a look at. Let me get to the website here, and we will go first. Dane County Public Health. So if you go to publichealthmdc.com, that will get you to Dane County Public Health, or you can just put it in. This is where you find all the COVID information. So when we go to that, you will find the current order. So we're under order 15 right now. This helped remove all the outside mass gatherings, and it maintains the inside of 150 people with food, but you have to space. So therefore, we're not doing bingo yet until we see some changes in this. One big difference, though, is it allows buffets. So we're not ready to do buffets yet, but we have a bus tour coming early in June, and we'll have some decisions to make of how we serve that. But some places that I really recommend that you take a look at is the requirements for businesses and activities. So if you're bored, you can't sleep or whatever, this is where we're getting a lot of our policies from. So if you don't want to print it all yourself, or if you just want to, take a look at that, this is where we're finding all the hygiene, the cleaning policy, protective measures policy, reviewing information. And then if you go to the sector specific and go to restaurants, bars, and food trucks, this is where they also have a really nice guide. And this goes through a ton of information about, the types of face cloth coverings and handling food and beverage. Obviously, some of this is for like regular restaurants and so on, but as we do carryouts and so forth, it's really important that we're following these. We are doing our fish boil as a carryout, so we will have designated people packing the foods. We will have delivery people. Once that food if the container is being closed and it's put in the bag, we don't open the bags, we don't take them out, we don't take the containers out of the bag, we hand the bag to the person, and we'll have a hand sanitizing station up at the curb for our person. We'll have runners who are basically pushing carts and wagons up with the meals ready to go, and then the person handing the food to the people will be gloved. They'll also, if they have to take their gloves off or change them, using hand sanitizer. So lots of rules on that. The other place that I recommend that you take a look at is the servesafe.com website, and that's SERV as in Victor, safe.com. They have free COVID-19 precautions training. So typically we have to pay to get things from us. From this group, from ServeSafe, but they have a variety of different trainings that you can do. So one is on conflict de-escalation. So if we have some issues with people not happy about following the rules, that's one to take. One is on reopening guideline precautions, on delivery precautions and so forth, hand washing and so on, takeout precautions. So these are free trainings. So once you go into it, it'll have you kind of click away, and then it'll let you know that if you've passed the things and so forth. So anyway, that's another thing that we have. So anyway, as we go through I'll turn this back. So as we go through the whole process and so on of reopening, we really ask for your patience and your support. If you're not comfortable coming down, please do not feel pressured to come down. We understand that people have different comfort levels, they have different health concerns, they've had different exposure. We are not putting any pressure on anyone. When I send out the signups and when we have the information in the newsletter, if you can help and want to help, we encourage you to do that. But if you don't want to, we totally understand. We are going to have opportunities for people who don't want to bake or make things. They just want to kind of keep their distance and so forth. If you can financially help the lodge by making a financial donation, Sitnamai is our biggest fundraiser each year. We're hoping that between the Friday night fish boil of Sitnamai weekend and the Saturday bake sale, that we can bring in at least a third of what we usually do. So last year we had members who were very generous in making donations to help out and to get us some income coming in. We'll be doing the same with this April 23rd fish boil. If people want to make a financial donation, that would be great. Just a couple comments on the fish boil. It is a carryout. You have to pre-order using the link on the Facebook page. We've been sharing it and via emails and so forth. So you have to pre-order. If people, we want them to come up from the south on Page Street. So basically go all the way down to Milwaukee Street, come along the cemetery, and then so that way we can have kind of this line of cars. If they're trying to turn by the museum onto Page, to turn left, I think we're going to have some traffic issues. So we are going to have our former fire chief helping with that part. But people will we'll drive up. There'll be one person with the checklist saying, Darlene Arneson, you ordered 2 meals, and then they'll go to the next person and give the $30 for those 2 meals, $15 a person. They'll get a Post-it note with the number of meals, and then the third person that the car rolls by will hand them the food. So we're thinking that within a minute, they should be able to check in, pay, and get their food and be moving on. So there's 3 different time periods people are signing up for so that we don't have a huge wave, and that we can keep up with the food. So we have lots of plans. We're hoping they all go well and that we can keep things in order. So if you have any questions, please ask. Please be patient as you come to the lodge. And again, we're all learning. We're all in this together. We're just trying to do our best to follow these guidelines. And please understand if we make a suggestion or we ask you to go wash your hands, or we notice that you're not feeling good and so forth. This isn't the position we want to be in either. So we really appreciate your help with that. So thanks for tuning in. This is one part of the training. And then once you get down to the lodge, you'll sign those sheets, and then we can sign that you are trained. So if you have any questions, please contact us. Thank you.